do it for you.
Baby, the key is yours. Yeah, baby, I'm in love. If it come down to it, let me show you how to play.
Y'all about my big bro Gerard in the podcast crew.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of the Floor is Yours podcast. We don't take it lightly that you tune in and listen to us. We know there's 100 other things that you can do, but in our opinion, this is the best thing you can do. So we appreciate you watching us tonight, and we got another one for you. We got that fire tonight. So you want to make sure you call everybody in your contact list. Start texting people right now. Tell them to tune into the Floor is Yours podcast. Tell them, hey, look, like, share, and subscribe. Hit them up. You can take a pause, go tell your peeps, hey, tune in, and then come back for the discussion because you're going to want to be part of this one. But before we talk about what the topic is tonight, I want to give my main man, my brother from another mother, the other half of the G Unit, Mr. Gerard Flex, the producer. Say what's up to the good people.
G Unit, what's up, everybody? How you doing today, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm blessed. Man. I got a little bit of a itchy throat today, but I'm good.
Oh man, I thought you were trying to serenade the ladies out there, man. But that ain't
you know, if it works, it works, you know. But,
yeah, I got you.
I might have to give me a little tea afterwards, you know, make it sound a little bit more smooth it out a little bit. It's a little raspy tonight, but it's all good. Listen, you know what, Gerard, out here in these streets, I don't know about you, but relationship questions always seems to be like everyone's number one priority. Everybody wants to know what do women want? What do men want? And so tonight we're going to broach that topic from a unique perspective. We're going to talk about why is he not attracted to me? Yes, why is he not attracted to me? And so we're going to try to go 360 with this one. You know, so if you're single and you like a guy and you're not really sure why he's not feeling you, we're gonna kind of give you some behind the scenes scoop on that. And if you've been in a long-term relationship, there's a number of reasons why men tend to be less interested in their relationship as time goes by. And so we're going to explore some of those reasons. And some of the reasons may not be what you think, because all the reasons aren't necessarily bad reasons. And so we want to make sure that we want to make sure everyone gets their questions answered tonight. Gerard and I have had some experience in these dating streets. I'm currently in a relationship. Gerard is still out here being Mr. Playboy. So
appreciate the plug, man.
There you go. He's single, ready to mingle, ladies. So hit us up in the comments if you're interested. You know, in any relationship, right, whether you are single or in a committed relationship, time happens, right? And then complacency happens. And then you get used to your person. And so when that happens, things that excitement, those butterflies, and what some people call the honeymoon phase tends to die out. I personally don't think that the honeymoon phase is a phase. I think it's a choice. I think you can choose how long you want your honeymoon phase to be. It's about being intentional and about being engaged with your partner. But there are a few reasons why sometimes relationships get stale and they get stagnant. And so we want to talk about that. We're gonna jump into that discussion first and talk about for those of us who are in committed relationships and you're like, hey, I don't want my relationship to get stagnant. Ladies, pull up a chair. This is why your man sometimes loses interest and begins to be less attracted to you. All the reasons aren't necessarily bad reasons. The first major reason why men tend to lose interest is a feeling of being unappreciated. And so I've been now coaching couples for close to 15 years. And the number one complaint that men will say, the reason why they don't show up with the romance the way that they do, they don't bring the flowers they do, or lay out the compliments the way they do, they feel like they're being taken for granted. Of course, that does go both ways, but we're focusing now from the men's perspective tonight. men don't feel appreciated. It's just expected that, hey, you take out the trash, you do the oil change, you pay the bills, you're part of the bills, or however your system is set up. You keep doing what you do, and then we have this social stigma that men don't need to be applauded. Men don't need to be patted on the back. Men don't need to be chased. I've seen a lot of posts on social media uh, claiming that men are zesty and soft if they want to be appreciated for showing up and doing what they're supposed to do. Well, even the things that you are supposed to do still takes effort and dedication and consistency. And even for that, we still want to feel like we're appreciated. What do you think about men feeling unappreciated in relationships, Gerard?
Yeah, man, it's a great point. Sometimes we do, and even men
Yeah.
are guilty. It's not just the women that have that
Hmm.
stance. Some men have that stance, like, "Hey, I don't want to be thanked for something that I'm supposed to do, or I don't want to be praised for something that I'm supposed to do." And I think it
Right.
sets people up for being taken for granted, or just wear it down. This whole idea, and we talk a lot about Gregory about reciprocity, right? What does it look
Hmm.
like if the
Hmm.
man is putting out in that capacity? I think eventually, even if he's doing out the goodness of his heart, he wants to receive something back, something of equal value, equal effort, if you will. So I agree wholeheartedly, man. Being taken for granted, I think it's one of the most neglectful acts that can happen to
Yeah.
people. I think it is just disrespectful, to be taken for granted. And sometimes it's subconscious. Often it's subconscious, you know. But Kobe Bryant, he quoted somebody else. I don't know what original quote came from, but Kobe said the one of the worst mistakes we can make is thinking that we got more time, and that kind of relates to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes hey, I'll do
Yeah.
this for him later, or do this later for him or whatnot. And just reciprocity is important even for men. And it's sometimes, again, it's not the women only that present it as
Yeah.
if that's a weakness or not a manly thing. A lot of men are guilty for presenting themselves in that light as well.
Yeah, yeah. It is. It may not, even if you're not intending to be disrespectful. It is emotionally lazy
Yeah,
to just think that your partner is going to continue showing up and giving, all of themselves and not getting anything in return. We're in relationships because we do expect something in return. We're in
absolutely.
relationships because we want the encouragement, the teamwork, the support, whatever it may be. We are with you because we want something back from you,
Yeah.
and that doesn't mean that it is malicious. It just means that you make us feel good in some way.
Hey,
So
can I add
to
to
be
that too?
underappreciated is undermining the relationship.
Before you go to your
Hmm.
next point too, I hear this. I know Valentine's Day is coming up, and the joke comes out, and I don't want to make this a
Yeah.
funny topic, a funny show, but they say, men tell women like, "Hey, sex is not a gift," and sometimes, and I don't know if that's a topic you're going to hit later, but when you're talking about showing reciprocity, a man is doing something for you, how do I pay him back? Is through sex, and I think that can be setting yourself up for failure in the long run.
Yeah. No. That's a great point. Now, sex is a means that men do bond with their woman, and so I'm not going to get preachy and tell you who should and who shouldn't be having to have sex, but people that are having sex, um, what I'm disappointed in our culture is that men are demeaned for a natural God-given desire, and we're kind of reduced to like Neanderthals or animals for wanting sex. But it's the way that we're wired. It's the way God
Yeah,
made us. We do feel more bonded with you after we engage in sex, and that includes the soul tie and all of those things. Sex is a high priority for men,
of course.
uh, and to I think to um, reduce it down to just immaturity is disrespectful to the man. Uh,
Yeah,
also, so
absolutely.
um, but you to his basic need or his lowest level need if you're giving sex.
Are you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here. We froze up just for a second, but I'm here.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, no, you don't want sex to be the top of the hill. You want the relationship to be the prize, not sex to be the prize. Because
Yeah.
sex is wonderful, but it can get old also.
Yeah. Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah, yeah. And so along the lines with that, though, I got to say that one of the reasons why men tend to not be attracted to women or less interested in their woman is because um, a lot of times women start out with certain behaviors that they don't continue within the relationship. So when the relationship begins, we're hot and heavy. There's a high level of intimacy or a high level of affection. And as time goes by, you pull back. There's this thing in psychology that I may have spoken about before. It's called skin hunger. And this is not particularly unique to men, but it's majority affects men where men don't get touched. So men get touched at least 40% less than women do. So women get hugs and embraces and back rubs more so than men do. And so men go days without anyone physically touching them. And so that's why the physical touch need is so high for men. And so generally when a relationship begins, your woman is very affectionate. She's grabbing your hand, she's rubbing your neck, she's, doing all of the lovey-dovey stuff. And then after a while, it goes away. Men tend to lose interest because now he feels like you tricked him, you duped him.
Mhm.
Now in the beginning you were all on me, but now we're not that anymore. So he feels betrayed by you when intimacy is kept away. Feels like a lie.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that. I get that. Yeah, it's that old saying, Gregory, what you did to get him, you need to continue, right? To keep them.
Hmm.
I think that's
Yeah.
important. And I in my latter years, like the past 4 or 5 years, I do things and realize that just someone tending to you, touching you is important. Like massages,
Hmm.
pedicures, and hand manicures, things like that. It's therapeutic. So it's not
It
just
is.
something even for just sex, right? But just someone
Yeah.
tending and touching to you does create some form of intimacy or care or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And even completely non-sexual at all. At my church, I used to be part of the prayer team where at the end of the church service, the parishioners would come down to the floor and they would simply ask for prayer. And so as a standard of the church, women would pray for women and men would pray for men. And so the brothers would come up and oftentimes when we would pray, because of the crowds, we would speak ear to ear. So we're kind of leaning in. And so, you do the bro hug, you grab the one hand, you put your arm around your brother, and you'll be surprised how often men would cry because it was the only time during the week someone physically touched them was doing prayer, and it
Mhm.
just moved them so much to tears. And so that is a real need for men because we actually are starving for touches, for intimacy, and for connection because the world doesn't care about our feelings. It only cares about what men produce. And
Yeah.
so you women are like the only place that we can get that from. So
Yeah. So can
any,
you give us some insight on what that touching could look like, right? In a relationship.
yeah, yeah. Well, it is, of course, varies from couple to couple.
Yeah.
But it doesn't even have to be sexual. The best touches are the ones that are just, I'm present, I'm here. It could be just a touch on the shoulder. It could be a hand hold. I love holding hands. Is one of the best things there is for me. I like a touch on the back. People like that. So it doesn't have to be overtly sexual. And I think when we talk about intimacy and we include men in that discussion, we think automatically sex.
Yeah.
Men are just looking for connection as well. We just want to know that you're present and that you're here. So it
Good.
just touch is good, you know.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
there are places that a lot of couples have that are indicators of what type of mood that they're in. So one of the things I do when I do couples coaching is I tell them find a place on your partner's body that lets them know when you're angry, when you're happy, and when you're turned on. So if I touch you on your shoulder, I'm angry. If I touch you on your knee, I'm happy. But if I touch you on your ear, I'm turned on. And so they do that in public for each other, and it's a unique way that they can communicate with each other, a kind of an unspoken language that they have, and it makes that connection even more special.
That's good, man. That's good. Cool,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
And
yeah.
just a shout out, we got comments coming in. Appreciate the followers, listeners. You know the game. Make your comments, ask your questions, and we'll be sure to get to them as the show goes along.
Yeah. One another reason why a man sometimes lose interest in the relationship is not necessarily because of her performance of who she is. It could be his own insecurities as well. And this is where getting to know your partner really pays off. Because as we age and we mature as men, we tend to doubt our effectiveness. And so when you go to work and you notice just out of the blue one day, you have more gray hair than anybody else on that floor. And then you go to work and you realize, oh, I'm the youngest guy here, or you're playing basketball with your friends and you find like your body's aching a little bit more. And so your humanity kind of sneaks up on you. And a lot of times men lose interest in their relationship when they see or become more aware of their own limitations. And it then becomes, a partnership where the other partner encourages him to let him know that, hey, you're still valuable, you're still important, and you're still desired, because those insecurities do creep in, because we're not all spring chickens anymore. We do
Yeah,
get older.
yeah, that's
I
good,
mean,
man.
other men, not me and Gerard, but other
Oh
guys.
yes, man, we age like wine, man. But you talked about insecurities, and I had some notes that talked about how what allows insecurities to creep
Yeah,
into the relationship, and one of them is talked about when you
yeah,
withhold sex to control behavior, right? And you think about like how
yeah,
does that make
yeah,
someone insecure, right? And it could just he began to think
yeah,
and doubt like what's going on, like why is she withhold? Is she not attracted to me? That kind of thing. So it's
yeah.
withholding sex, making affection, making it conditional. And I'm not saying like, hey, you just got to all
Mm,
in and give yourself in no matter what, but making affection conditional can be issue, but also using intimacy as a reward system, same which we talked about as
mm.
well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's been proven over many decades, multiple times, over at least the last 50 years. There's many studies, you can Google this if you want to, that the touch from a woman that a man is in love with reduces his stress. So if you had a hard day at work, Gerard, and you're just like on edge, you come home and she just touches your back, immediately your stress level goes down.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
What's
so
crazy about
withholding
that
that.
is that a lot of men know that, but out of
Hmm.
certain fears of being judged or feeling being labeled as needy, they won't even express their desire or need or want to be touched. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I've
yeah.
heard men express and communicate that.
Yeah, and also studies have shown that high frequency of intimacy in relationships boosts a man's confidence. So the more sex a man has, the more confident he feels. He becomes more engaged. He becomes more assertive, more direct, largely because he feels like he is desired at home, and that
Mhm.
gives him the confidence to go out into the workplace. So. Um, and I'm not trying to make this sound trivial, but it is true, it's factually true that the more sex a man has, and I'm going to push within a marriage, the more confident and just the more effective he becomes. So
Yeah, of
something
course.
to think about also.
Good stuff, man. That's
Yeah,
good stuff.
but it
And so
could be
far,
pulling
man.
him back because he doesn't feel desired.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And again, just want to encourage the audience out there to keep the comments coming in, and we're going to get to them as we can. So, what else you got, brother?
Yeah, unresolved past trauma, unresolved past trauma, and so a lot of men, and I have seen this a lot, where once they get a woman, they don't know what to do next. And
Oh,
so
wow.
the goal is, yeah, the goal is just to catch the fish. But once I get the fish, what do I do with it? They don't know. And so I said unresolved past trauma because they have now been programmed that as a man, I just get the girl, but they don't know relationship. because they weren't raised with a positive male role model, or they haven't seen positive relationships. And so all they've seen is fighting and discord and frustration. They don't know what to do with someone they actually care for, because they
Yeah.
haven't seen that modeled, right? So I'm in this relationship with someone I care for, and I don't want to be like my parents' relationship, but I don't know anything else to be. I don't know how to act any other way. And so a man starts losing interest because he's at his wit's end. He doesn't have any more knowledge about what the next step should look like.
You know, I'm thinking about what that could potentially look like in a relationship. And I've heard women complain that when I'm upset or angry, instead of him talking to me and trying to resolve it, he'll go out and buy a gift. Or the guy in his mind is like, hey, I know how to get to her heart. Let me go buy her a gift. But it sounds like what you're saying, that he's getting back or resorting back to that pursuit thing. Like now she's angry. Like, let me go and pursue her and wow her and court her in the form of gifts and giving.
Yeah, he's a one-trick pony. He doesn't know conflict resolution. He doesn't know vision casting. He doesn't know leadership. He just knows I should buy flowers to keep her happy. He doesn't know leadership, and all of the other things that it takes to keep a relationship going. There appears to be a lack of initiative, like with planning date nights or planning vacations or just outings or anything. But what it is just an unawareness of what I should be or how I should be in a relationship. And generally, those men don't have big communities around them. They tend to be loners. They tend to be very isolated. And so the more isolated a man is, the more dangerous he is to himself and to those around him. And so isolated men don't have a lot of experience with seeing how different men approach situations. Some approach it with humor, some approach it with spirituality, some approach it with logic, some approach it with money, and you have to see it all to see how to handle specific things.
Yeah, you got me thinking also, not trying to make it seem like there's no accountability from the man, but let's be honest, these days too, what's presented to a lot of men is that piece of it. Like, hey, I need you buying me stuff, taking me out, dating me, and all the fun stuff. And when that focus is on that, I think is exactly what you're saying, that now outside of the fun, when the real life happens, you lose interest. Other guy that told me one day, like, hey man, when we arguing or when the money ain't right, like I have no interest in having sex. So to your point, it's like, yeah, you're right. If I'm not pursuing, what else do I have to give? And I think people, to your point, struggle with being able to show themselves other than that one trick pursuit, trying to chase somebody for the kill, per se.
And that's a very good point. Men lose interest because you only told me you wanted me for one thing, and that was just to pay the bills. So why should I be interested in your career goals? Or you want to go back to school, or you want to get healthy, you want more kids, you want a vacation more. Why am I interested in that when you told me all you wanted was just for me to give you a soft life?
Yeah.
Why I need to show up for anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not interested in those things.
Yeah.
I wanted you to be the trophy on my arm, and I agreed. The agreement was I would pay the bills and you would stay cute. Don't ask me anything else other than that.
You say don't ask anything else other than that.
Oh, nothing else other than that. That was all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Gregory, if you don't mind, let's go into a quick commercial break. We're going to come back and we'll get to some of these comments before they get too far away from the previous topics. And then we'll let you go ahead into the next discussion.
Sure.
All right.
Real men talk. If I had a group of brothers that I could confide in, a group of brothers that encourage me to be the best man possible, that hold me accountable for actions, but brothers that won't beat me down when I fall short. If I had brothers like that in my life, I'd open up more about my challenges. I wouldn't be afraid of being vulnerable and transparent. I'd be more deliberate in my actions and not scared of failure. I wouldn't act like everything is okay when I'm hurting inside. Sometimes it seems like there's an all-out assault from the world on black men, and hurtful words from my lady cut deep. I can't show my pain, 'cause if she knew that she hurt me, she would do it over and over again, hoping that each time cut deeper than the last. I do understand that women have challenges too. That's why I work so hard to be the strength she needs. But I need a band of brothers who understand that sometimes I simply want them to listen. Sometimes I need advice, but other times I need a shoulder to lean on. I need a band of brothers that create a safe space that gives us all a chance to talk about our fears. Because it's therapeutic when real men talk. Real men talk. Real men talk.
And Real Men Talk, man, you want to take a minute to talk about what we're going to do with Real Men Talk in the coming months?
Yeah, and so like the commercial just expressed, and we've even spoken about briefly here, is that isolation is really to the detriment of any man, of any man. Every man needs someone to help sharpen him. And so with Real Men Talking, build a community of men that can be transparent, men that can be open and honest, because information is meant to be recycled. And so we all are pretty much battling the same things once we put our cards on the table. If it's something physical, financial, emotional, spiritual, we all are battling the same battles. And so what we want to do is get together and go, how did you do it? How did you pull through? How did you make it? And so with these discussions, with Real Men Talk, it is our goal to make sure that every man that's a part of it is sharp and is ready for action. So he can be the best husband, best father, best leader for his community that he can be. And so open, transparent forums is something that we're looking to do. We want to get out into the community. We want to do events. We want to do whatever it takes so that men know that there is a safe place, because men can only grow if they feel safe first. So we want to make sure that the men know that, hey, you're safe here. Now it's your opportunity to grow.
Amen. Good stuff. Appreciate you breaking it down for them. So, hey, we got a couple of comments we want to get to. Appreciate them. We got Coley saying hello to us.
Hello,
always
Coley.
Input, but she has a comment right here. When a woman truly loves you, she nurtures you naturally. She pays attention not out of obligation, but because her heart is invested. She wants to give more than herself. It's in the form of sex. She notices the little things about you because they matter to her. And I was just thinking about one of the discussions that we started off with, and about people using sex as the reward. And I like that she's breaking it down and focusing on, or stressing, that it's more than sex that men need. Now, a young, immature man may struggle to know that and understand that, or even express it as he comes to try to figure out the meteor of things in life. But yeah, she's absolutely right. What do you think about her comment?
I think she's on point. I know that when a woman naturally loves a man, you can't stop her from loving him. When a woman loves a man, you have to sometimes really tell her, stop, slow down, you're doing too much. She's offering all the bells and whistles when she feels seen, when she feels appreciated, when she feels loved in return. You can't outdo a woman giving. But I do want to stress this though. You want to make sure that you're loving him the way that he interprets love, not the way that you as the woman interpret love. We interpret love a little bit differently here. And so you want to make sure that as you want to nurture him and pay attention to his needs, that you are executing in a way that lands on him like, oh, she cares, and not that she's just trying to take care of me, or she's treating me like one of her kids. And so a lot of times, especially with single mothers who have the best of intentions, will tend to take care of their man like he is an additional child. Let me cook for you. Let me wash your clothes for you. Let me help clean up, which are all kind gestures. But oftentimes you feel like you're a child and not her man. So you want to make sure, ladies, that you are loving him the way that he interprets love.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Appreciate that info. Antoinette Clark, appreciate you. She said, good evening. We got my friend D'Angela Stafford saying hello. And we were talking earlier about insecurities, but she said, afraid to be vulnerable. I'll let you comment on that.
Yeah. You know what? It's not so much that we're afraid to be vulnerable. I think that we're just trusting, that if I tell you what makes me vulnerable, you're not going to use it against me. That is a huge, huge fear of men. I would probably put it in the top three fears of men. If I do let my guard down, so I guess fear and trust are kind of related a lot there. Um, if I let you know that my vulnerability is I never felt appreciated, or I have abandonment issues because I grew up and my father wasn't there. The minute we get into a scuffle, I don't want you using that against me. And so if you can fight without using or disagree, I don't think couples should fight, but you can disagree. If you can disagree without bringing back into his face those vulnerable moments, then that man will love you for that, because now he feels safe that he can continue to be vulnerable with you.
Yeah,
Vulnerability, I want to say this to all the men that are watching. Vulnerability is not weakness. Vulnerability is a teacher. When you're vulnerable with your partner, you are teaching your partner, this is how to love me. When you are vulnerable with your partner, you're saying, this is what hurts me. Please don't do that. Let me show you what helps me, what grows me, what encourages me. So vulnerability is not being soft. It's not a weakness. Vulnerability, when it's done right, is actually a teaching mechanism. It's a tool to teach.
that's
It's not
good. That's
weakness.
good. Yeah, and Angel was saying yes, that's true for women as well. She also replied to Coley's comment. She said, "Absolutely love your statement. So true. I love seeing them interact with each other in the comments." So, you talked earlier about being isolated. Antoinette said isolated men will sometimes isolate their significant others too. You're right. I could see that as being out of insecurities or fear of
Not a
losing them.
healthy one. That's that's a dangerous man run. Any man
Yeah,
that isolates you, you don't want to be with him.
yeah,
That is a manipulator, and that is one of the four telling signs of an abuser.
yeah,
So any man that tells you you can't hang out with your friends, I don't like you go visit your family, run.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
walk, run.
Yeah. So we got a lot of them coming in. I hate when they get away and I don't know what this particular question it was for. But Monet said that's good and true. But Angel said, how does that look? I don't know what she's talking about. But Angel, if you don't mind, you can just put a comment or reply to that
Yeah,
and
let
we'll
us know.
yeah. So we got some more, but we're gonna go ahead and let you get to the next topic. Y'all keep the comments coming and we're gonna get to the rest of them as well.
Yeah, yeah. Why is my man not attracted to me anymore? It could be loss of self. He doesn't know who he is. Women go through this also generally after having children, but men also go through it also generally after having children. It's like, who am I beyond being a husband and being a father and being an accountant? We lose ourselves in the ritual and the routine of being the provider, of going to work every day. We don't go hang out with our friends anymore. We don't go work out. We don't go play ball. We don't do the things that we used to do. We don't fix cars. Whatever your man's thing is, if you see your man stop doing that thing, you have to sometimes force him to do it so he doesn't forget who he is. Men then tend to go inward, feeling lost. I don't know who I am. I don't know how to show up. So I feel like a robot. So he loses interest in the relationship because he's trying to figure out, who am I? I lost myself along the way. Now I'm changing diapers.
Yeah,
You
man. You know
know,
what? Very good. You
now
say that.
yeah.
I got a good friend, man, lifelong childhood friend, and he was telling me when this relationship was
Yep.
struggling, he said that he was just head down, working and making money. That
Hmm.
a lot of what was going on
Hmm.
outside, of him working and resting and working again, that he was just in the dark about, right? And it cost them
Hmm.
closeness and intimacy as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The two hardest times on a marriage is when a baby is just born and when the child is in high school. That's because the child's needs are the biggest at those moments, when the baby's first born and when the child is in high school. Of course, when a baby's born, they need constant attention in high school because they're planning the future. There's driving, there's dating, and all of those life skills that you're trying to pour into them before they leave the nest. And so it's during those times and those demands that intimacy just drops like pretty much to a standstill. And so those are the two most dangerous times in the marriage, and men lose themselves too. Because now I'm a Uber. I'm not dad anymore. I'm not your husband anymore. I'm not your boyfriend anymore. I'm just the designated driver for the family, and I'm also the designated wallet. So whenever there's dues that are due for the sport that the kid is in, I have to somehow find a way to make it happen. And so a lot of times in the course of a marriage, as many times women do too, men just lose themselves. They lose themselves because they don't see themselves as anything more than just an Uber driver or a wallet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, man. And
Yeah.
one of the things, I know we got a lot of other topics, but one I want to discuss, and I'm sure it was on your list, but it says the lack of novelty or stagnation in a relationship. So, the intimacy becomes routine,
Yeah.
even if it's coming across the door,
Yeah.
but then it's go to our
Yeah.
own corner in that sense. So how
I
does
love that
routine
one.
affect the intimacy?
Yeah. So there's some people that do love predictability, and for those people it works well. There's some people that inevitably, though, in everyone's relationship, you need to break the rut. Uh, this is a very small thing, but I'm so surprised every time I get comments when I work with couples and I tell them, this is what I want you to do. You're having troubles spicing things up. Sleep on opposite sides of the bed. Wife sleep where the husband sleeps, and vice versa. Just switch positions. And it's just a small thing, but just that little change, like they find it so just intriguing. Like, oh, you sleep over here, it's softer over here, it's cool over here, it's warm over here. Or they switch sinks in the bathroom. Just those little small little things gives them something to talk about or gives them a new perspective. And so novelty is tends to awaken interest in the relationship. Routines and ruts, yeah, that things become stale. And so whatever you can do to make things different, buy new bed sheets is also another thing you can do. Buy new pajamas is something you can do. And I'm saying these sometimes what sounds like inconsequential things, but I say that because it doesn't take much. Whatever you used to sit at the breakfast table, choose another place to sit at the breakfast table. Things that you can do that doesn't cost a lot of money, but just going to switch things up a little bit, give things a shift. So your partner has to look at you a little bit differently or ask, why are you sitting over here now? Why are you doing this differently? It just kind of awakens up the relationship because we're not on autopilot anymore. We had to switch off autopilot and actually be engaged.
Man, that was good. Boy, that's heavy. And one more.
Switch
Go ahead.
cars. Husbands drive your wife's car. Wives drive your husband's car. Switch cars for a week and
Yeah.
just see how your husband, how your wife drives her car. Yeah, it's interesting things.
Yeah, but since we're adults too, those not discrediting what you're saying, but there's some other things you can do too to spice it up a little bit, right? I know one that you talk about.
Yeah,
is
they're. Oh yeah. So it's mandatory. This is a hard fast rule. If you work with me doing couples coaching, is that I require you to shower together at least once a week. At least once a week, you have to shower together. And so it goes back to the scripture where it said they was naked and unashamed. And a lot of times we create these invisible barriers between our spouse and us and our partner and us. And so when you are showering together, it's not so much to entice you to have sex, and if you have sex, that's fine. It's not against the rules, but it is just so you can say, I'm stripping away the world, and I'm only focusing on you. You just have me right here, and I'm removing everything else, and it's just you and me. And what do we have when there's nothing else in between us, and it's just you and me? And that creates a level of. So I encourage every couple, if you're not showering, I have a couple actually that they bathe together every night. That's a lot of effort, but they do it. They bathe together every night, and I actually think it's a very beautiful thing. So if you're married, shower at the minimum at least one night a week together. You'll
Hey,
be amazed at the conversations you have.
and this might sound funny, but a little seriousness to it. shower and
Mhm.
not necessarily a bath, because we know bath holds, the sediments that
Mhm.
you want. Now,
Mhm.
the water get dirty, but
Yeah.
something to think about.
Yeah. Showers are fun too. They both are
Yeah,
fun, but yeah, showers are
yeah,
fun too.
yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
So there are a lot of things. There's romantic novels you can read to each other. Take turns reading passages from romantic novels. You can do that. There is couples yoga you can do, because yoga requires a lot of stretching, a lot of holding your partner, a lot of maneuvering your partner's body. There's massages you can do. There's a lot of things you can do that can produce intimacy, but along with intimacy, we're looking to produce closeness. And so, another activity, along with maybe massages and yoga and showering, is writing each other your top 10 favorite things I like about you. I
Yeah,
like the way you laugh. I like your smell.
yeah.
I love the way you cook, or whatever it may be. Top 10 things I love about you.
It's dope, man. I love it, man. You come with some good, hard, easy, but workable
Mhm.
things that people can actually take in. But so you talked a little bit earlier about unmet expectations, and I was thinking
Yeah.
about like what that could look like, and not just from the unmet expectations from him, but even from her, right? And it causes
Yeah.
her. And I'm not trying to be biased or misogynistic or anything, but we talked
Be
about.
biased. Be
Okay.
biased.
Yeah, man.
Let
Quarrelsome or argumentative mates, like when
Yeah.
she is antagonizing, and you talked about controlling or seeming like a mother figure, like that couldn't affect a man's ability or willingness to be intimate with her as well, right?
Yeah, it is difficult for men to be combative against women because we lose either way. So if we come
Right.
across we can't win. If we
Yeah.
come across too strong, then we're being too aggressive. If we don't say anything at all, then we're a wimp. Uh, and so it really requires partnering when you have a disagreement, and it really requires you really get to know who you're with when your partner doesn't get what they want. You get to know who a person is when they have to hear the word no. And with that, you begin to understand, are you someone I can actually have a discussion with? Or are you someone that I got to fight with?
Yeah.
And then that becomes the question, is this worthy to stay? Is
Yeah.
it worthwhile to stay?
Yeah.
Because if we can't disagree without fighting, why am I with you?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Hey, Greg, we got a lot of comments coming in, and I know you're gonna have some heavy for us to wrap the discussion up. So, with your
No problem.
permission, I'll go through some of these comments, and then we're gonna let you
Please
wrap
do.
the discussion up. Okay. We got
Let's do it.
Mr. Dimitri Carter. Appreciate you tuning in, but he said complacency kills everything, even relationships, whether at war, overseas, not changing flower pots, stunts growth. And needless
Mm.
to say, he's military background right there, right with the overseas. But you want to take a moment to talk about how complacency can kill?
It does. It does, because what it does is it shows laziness in the relationship. You don't care enough about me to do anything differently, and there has to be a hero in a relationship. It has to be someone to initiate that change. But if whoever noticed the complacency first has to take the initiative to say, "Let me switch it up. Let me buy some nice lingerie." Right? Let me cook his favorite meal just out of the blue. Let me show up to let when he comes home, let me just take him out for dinner, or whatever that may be. Or when he comes home, let me already have the kids at grandma's house, and we're just going to give each other massages tonight. Spontaneity really is a tool that you got to keep in your toolbox to pull out occasionally, because if not, like you said, it stunts your growth.
Yeah,
You
and
outgrow the
then
flower pot.
and to add some to that, what you stated earlier too. Sometimes you got to make sure you're giving it in a way that he's ready to receive or that he needs it, right? Because sometimes you give it to him if he's had a long day or in some kind of medical or pain or something like that, right? So how important is
Hmm.
because, and I say it because I could see how that could make a woman feel if she's trying to be spontaneous with him or cater to him, and but at the same time
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
not receiving it.
Yeah, if you're having problems with him receiving it, it's important to do your research first. And what that looks like is, tell me who you are now, because we all change every 5 years. completely different individuals from 30 to 35 to 40 to 45. You're a completely different individual. Sit down in front of your partner and go, who are you now? Describe to me who you are as though I've never known you before. And
Yeah.
then after you do that, tell me, how do you feel loved? How do you feel loved?
Yeah.
And so then that way you can take that data and now you can execute on it.
Yeah.
That really makes a total difference.
Yeah. Heavy stuff, man. My good friend Monetta says, hi guys.
Hey, Monetta. I know Monetta. She's not just your friend. She's my friend.
Yeah, man. That's why I said out. For sure. Antoinette, I love this. She said we have to know their love language. And I know there's some ambiguity sometimes surrounding that, but I think love language, the idea of it is so personal, like you understand your mate. Right? You understand each other. It's not just one way, but understanding what makes each other tick, what turns each other off. And I think it's closely related to that reciprocity, right? So you can't be the only one getting, look to him to make sure that you're giving him what he needs.
Yeah. If you really love someone, you need to know their biggest goal and their biggest fear. You need to know their biggest goal so you know how to support them. You need to know their biggest fear so you know how to protect them.
Oh, man. Well, that's good. She said that's good and true, Gerard. Oh, there we go. Dr. Jennings, she was just on her Tuesday. She appreciated her for tuning in. She said greetings and happy Thursday. And one of my favorite ladies on the planet right here, Kayla, appreciate you tuning in.
That's great.
Yeah. My friend D'Angela, she said, how do you interpret a man's love? I tend to find that very difficult these days because a lot of men would tell you what they interpret as love, but what they show you is completely opposite. And I know I've been guilty of that, right? And part of it is what you just said. Sometimes I'm even going off of old information. I used to like dinners. I used to like trips, or I used to like going out in the evening and then hanging in the lounge, and then finding out like I don't like this stuff, but I'm still going off of old information. I've communicated it to her. Now she's confused about what I even want or how to be what I'm wanting.
Yeah. Ask him if you're having problems with that. Ask him if money wasn't an issue, what would your perfect day look like? Yeah. And from that, you'll be able to kind of infer, oh, this is where he's at now. Like if it's more peace driven, like just a quiet day at home, then he's looking for comfort. If it's like, I want to get out and get on the plane and let's go to Vegas, and he's looking for it.
Yeah. Oh, we lost Mr. Gregory, and we'll give him a chance to get back on, and I'll go through some more of these questions too. Elizabeth said, I wonder how many men allow themselves to be vulnerable to that point. Greg, you right on time because Dr. Jennings had a good question. She said, how many men allow themselves to be vulnerable to that point? And it's I know it's a question, but it's more of a statement. Like there are a lot of men that will not be vulnerable, right?
Yeah, that's true. The most valuable thing a woman can give a man is her body, and the most valuable thing that a man can give a woman is his vulnerability. And so we're just as careful about giving our vulnerability as women are careful about giving their bodies. And so how many men are, well, just as easily as frequently as women give their bodies. And so it's something that we use extreme caution with, because we have a fear, because guess what? Our moms did it to us. Our sisters did it with us. Our girlfriends in high school did it. As soon as we told them, hey, listen, my biggest fear is I'm afraid of spiders. Guess what the talk is going to be about on the blacktop the next day of school? Gregory said he's afraid of spiders, and everybody's laughing at you, right? And so you get scarred, unfortunately, as a young man, that when you do become a man and it becomes necessary and a requirement to have a healthy relationship, you've already built up this wall, this resistance to it. And so the thing that women can do to help support that is first say, thank you for sharing that with me. And then show him that doesn't go anywhere else. And be gentle with, like, hey, you mind if I talk about the spiders with you? Because I was curious about where did that fear come from. Be gentle with that discussion, not harsh with that discussion. You're a grown man. You should have been, over that fear by now. You this old and you still afraid of spiders? Like, nah, don't do that.
Yeah, that's good. It's good. And it's one that you kind of touched on earlier. I'll let you read it and then respond to it if you will.
Loving him without being his mother is hard at times because what if he doesn't even know what love looks like from a mother? Anything you do could trigger lack of love from a mother. Yeah, it's not so much that a nurturing woman is a bad thing because it's really a great thing to have someone in your life who does care about those little details, like did you eat, are you getting enough sleep, are you drinking your water, all those things. We do love, and we really, really, really do love. Um, the best love for a man is the type of love that pushes him to be the king that God designed him to be. So not only is that protective, that's also pushing. That's also forward moving. Hey, Gerard, you said you wanted to start a new business. Have you opened up an LLC? Hey, babe, I know you can do this. I believe in you. You want me to make a phone call for you? We're gonna get this business started, right? Okay, let's go look. Let's go look at some open spaces. Let's see how much it costs to rent a place for you. So there has to be a combination of both nurturing and also pushing
Yeah,
for
that's
for a
good.
man. Yeah.
That's good. Good. We got one of our faithful Ron saying, "What up, fellas? Sorry, like, hey, you came
What's
in at the
up? What's
right
up?
time, and we got a lot of good information still to give." So, uh, this Dr. Jennings was talking about turning up the steam when you was giving ideas on how to intimacy, being spontaneous, and man,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we kind of we forget how to romanticize our partner because the truth is, by the end of year one, they've already seen your best moves, right? Seen all my tricks, all my little special things that I know how to do. Uh, and so it becomes this constant uh, reinvention of yourself. But the great thing about that and the fun thing about it, if there's true intimacy and true vulnerability, you two can explore new those new levels together.
yeah,
Like, hey, I've shown you all my tricks, and let's go find some new ones together.
yeah, that's good. That's good. Coley Brown said with a laughing emoji, "Hold me while I pray for you." And it's and I get the laughter in that, but a man that is with a woman that will pray for him, like that is one of the
Mm,
most loving, selfless acts, like to go to the God of the universe and petition for favor on your behalf is like one of the most ultimate acts of love. So yeah,
I
that's
couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. Gerard, here's the thing. We are always asked to be the protector, but who protects us?
yeah,
And then when our woman prays for us, it is one of those rare moments we feel like someone's protecting us.
yeah,
Someone's got our back. So yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's one of the most moving, powerful things a woman
yeah,
can do for us.
yeah. And Dr. Jennings, man, she bringing the audience with us too. My hometown Texarkana always showed up, but she got some people that I met through her. Mr. Jinks, he's saying good evening, gentlemen. And I know I owe you a
Hello.
phone call, brother. What we say in there? Charge it to my head, not my heart. I
That's right.
promise I'm gonna reach out to you, bro. We got some work to do, man. I appreciate what you're doing in the community. I definitely want to see how I can be a part of it and help us all grow. So thank you, Dr. Jennings, for those connections as well. Um, Coley said that you were preaching. Angel saying thanks for answering the question that she had earlier. And this one right here, that Proverbs 31 wife, let you address that. Like, what does that mean to men?
Yeah, the thing about being a Proverbs 31 woman, and sometimes that passage of scripture gets misconstrued as someone who's submissive and docile, but as you read that scripture, she is equally dynamic as her man is. She is compatible with him in his awesomeness. She is not in his shadow, but they are both making light together. And so the Bible speaks about the Proverbs 31 woman as being an entrepreneurial. She takes initiative. She brings home the bacon. She cooks it too, and she looks after her man and her children. I mean, this is a superwoman, right? And I know that you can't do it all at one time, but what it is that this is a woman that doesn't shrink, and men respect women that are fully themselves unapologetically, not in an aggressive, arrogant way, but a woman that completely knows what her gifts are and utilizes those gifts. So this Proverbs 31 woman says, "I know who I am, and I do it on a high level," and that is very attractive.
And out of love. Out of love.
And out of love.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
out of love.
Yeah. So we got quite a few comments that came through. We appreciate them all. I'm glad we got to get to them. But this is where we get ready to close the show. But before we go, we ask you to send us back to our corners, if you will, with some words of wisdom. Words of wisdom. What you got for us, brother?
Oh man, you know what? I don't have anything prepared tonight for this particular show, but I would tell you this, that the evolution of a man is sometimes scary for us. And so I would say if your man has lost interest in the relationship, ask him, has he lost interest in his purpose? Because a man that has his own purpose knows how to move in life. And a man that doesn't have purpose seeks pleasure instead of purpose. And so what you want to find, ladies, is, has he identified who God wants him to be? If he hasn't done that, he doesn't know how to love you, because he has to love his purpose first before he can love you. It's the way that we were wired. You go back to the book of Genesis. Adam first had a job from God before he had a woman from God. And that's what we want. The man to have an anointing or have a calling from God before he gets a woman of God to be brought into his life. Listen, be gentle with each other, because we are all essentially walking each other home. So let's be gentle and kind with each other.
That's good. That's good. When you said about that job, you remind me that there's like 25 different house parties. That movie, House Party, one with Bernie Mac was on there, and he said, "No romance without finance." You remember that? It's important. Not money is not everything, but it ain't sure pays the bill. But one thing I just want to make sure we summarize in all seriousness, Gregory, is that it's not always a physical thing that's causing him to seem like he's not attracted to you. Especially the guys as we age, and we deal with so much, your parents are aging as well, and your grandparents, your kids are coming into their own challenges, and that's a lot for men to take on. And not saying that it's not for women too, but just for this topic, it's just this whole awareness, not about only about self, but for your mate too. What is he dealing with? What can I help him shoulder the load on? But also physical things, dealing with self. That's the thing about blood flow. That's one of the things you and I had talked about one time. Like, it happens. Our arteries get clogged, and we don't eat the best. And especially these days when people want to have the best fun, we're foodies. That stuff can have an effect on you. So there's things that we talked about that you can do to help increase your blood flow, like physical activity, walking, running, beet juice. It's natural things like that you can do to make yourself more healthy. So, and then some of the things that you talked about too, about being spontaneous, tending to each other, touching him, making sure that he knows that you care about him. So just wanted to make sure that we iterated some of those things again, that it might be him, not that he's not attracted to you, but it's just some challenges or some hurdles that he got to try to overcome. So appreciate all that. Hey, appreciate the audience for all the input. We got a lot of good input and perspective from them too. So this was fun, brother.
It was nice. I always enjoy talking to our listeners, man. Y'all are the best. Y'all are the best. Really, those comments be fire.
Yeah, for sure, man. Okay, you're gonna close us out and get us ready. Hey, one more plug. Dr. Jennings, she has an event, and it's on my page, on my Facebook page, but it's called Men Shift. Go there, and it's online deal for men, And the good thing about that, they have an event Saturday. Tuesday next week, we're going to come back and recap what they talked about Saturday. Nice. And to make it even sweeter, we're going to talk about how we can partner with Real Men Talk and Men Shift, and just do the necessary work in the community. So, you and I say this all the time: when men are stronger, families are stronger. When families are stronger, the community is stronger. when the communities are stronger, we got a better country and a better world. So we're going to do our part to make sure that we're encouraging each other, being responsible, and also holding each other accountable in a loving way. So go to my page, check out Men's Shift from Dr. Jennings. She's doing great work. And also be back here with us on Tuesday next week and have a recap about that.
I love it. I love it. Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. We love you beyond words. You guys are awesome. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. Next week, hey, tune in for more insightful conversations. But in the meantime, we love you. Peace, love, hair grease. We out.
Oh, yeah. And one more plug. Monday is Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. So let's make sure that, the celebration of him. So
today is his birthday. Today's
his birthday. Yeah.
Today is his
birthday. But Monday's the celebration, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So get out and do your part, man. Appreciate you.
Need another, this one here really do it for you. Baby, look at yeah, baby, I'm baby, come down to let me show you how
Now it's my turn to tell y'all about